Hey guys, Sean Bougie here, surplusfundsriches.net. Hello, Jennifer. She says, good evening. Remember, guys, real quick, a lot of you guys are new, I know, tonight. So always use the chat. Thank you, Jennifer. Always use the chat and not the Q&A section because we're going to ignore the Q&A section. If somebody could let me know you can hear and see me okay, that would be great. And then we can get rolling. Remember, this is interactive question and answer, and that's what drives it is any questions you guys have. That's what we're here for. Real quick announcement. A lot of you guys know this already. Tomorrow is our next sale. We only sell the programs 1 or 2 days a month. This time it'll be tomorrow and Saturday. Starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time, that products page will switch. It currently has information on the sale on it. It will switch to a buy page. And in the middle of that page, you do have looks like Jeff dropped the file on here for me too. Jennifer says she can hear me. In the middle of the products page on our website, surplusfundsriches.net, the middle of the products page are downloads. One is an overview of all the programs. The other one is a pricing overview of what we're offering this month. Let's take a look here. Yeah, so Jeff has put a file up. Please download that. That's going to be information, current, what we've got offered right now. I'm going to go back to chat. Jairus says hello. All right, guys, I've already done the announcement about the sale coming up tomorrow starting at 10 a.m. Eastern. It's until they last, 2 days. In other words, 10 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. However, we have actually shut them down earlier in the past if we sell out. We limit the number of people that can come on board just because we want to make sure we can take care of everyone and everything that's going on. Big news too, tomorrow in a single day, it's going to be a very nice day. $77,000 retrieval and a $56,000 retrieval. So that's 133 grand coming in a single day. A lot of stuff going on. I've reached out to a lot of people. There's still 6 in the queue that we put in under contract for our guys I will be sending emails out on those probably Monday. Isabel says hello. Any questions, guys? I'd really appreciate it. That's what I'm here for. Jeff is acting as a moderator. So jump on and start asking any questions you got, pre-purchase, post-purchase, I don't care. Remember too, guys, that we do this twice a month. So for folks that buy our program, some folks actually wait until the webinars, and you're welcome to ask any question you've got, right? But you don't have to wait till the webinar. Support's included with our programs. You get the initial PDF, which is the initial content that has a link with a password. Don B says hello. Hello, Don. That has a password and a link, the ebook you get to resources page with additional information, updates, independent contractor agreement that protects us both. It just says I got to pay you what I agreed to pay you. You guys have to be nice to my staff. There's no non-compete in it. In addition to that, it has the active files list. So before you even turn something in, you can check and see if we already have it so you don't duplicate someone else's efforts. That's gotten really tight. Updating that 5 days a week. And that's helped us a lot. It's just nice that we're that transparent. We don't have a saturation issue, but it's nice to have. Isabel says, having a hard time locating the sheriff's deed. Well, in some instances, Isabel, depending on where you're at, all you're really looking for, just so we're clear, if you're thinking it's got to be a sheriff's deed, depending on the area, it might not be. It's the deed that transferred. The deed you're missing in that instance is the deed that transferred ownership at the auction to someone else. So it may not be called that, but I promise you it's up there. If it's a redemption date, there may be a delay in getting it up there, but we can't take it without it. So just wait and keep looking. Manual for the ID status. How long will it take you guys to revisit a dead file? If it says dead, Emmanuel, it's dead. And there's only a couple of reasons why a file could be dead. Let me go off on a tangent here. Somebody just asked, use the question and answer section. Guys, I can't use both. Please use chat. I'm going to ignore that. All right. So how long will it take you guys to revisit a dead file? We don't, Emmanuel. If it's dead, that means the people said to work with somebody else, or the people have died themselves, or they simply won't work with us, or they're crazy. And believe me, there's plenty of the crazy out there. The general public. For panning, do you accept files where the claimant is a dead person's estate? I don't believe so, Lissa. All that's on the guys, whatever you do, always keep up with the resources page. Click the link from your ebook, Lissa. And there should be information there. If not, there's a frequently asked questions section on support where you use support. You can pan through or scan through that, and that'll probably answer your question. Mo, hi Sean. I bought the gold bundle in 2021 in December. However, I haven't really worked it. I want to start working on some of the programs this year. Are they still valid? Absolutely. VFlip 30, yeah, all that. Mo, all you got to do is open the ebook, the initial content you were sent, read that. Guys, whatever you do, read the ebooks. Okay. You're learning a new skill set. You got to read to do that. Even though we have additional video training, you got to read to do that. Read those ebooks and start working them. And the links will tell you when it goes to the resources page, if there's any updates or changes, they're always on there. Marjorie, to set up our own Excel page, any suggestions on headings or just use the checklist? So Marjorie, I'm assuming you want to keep track of what you've turned in separately than the list that we create for you guys. And in that instance, it's however you want to do it, you know. Isabel, can we still do files even if deceased? I thought you just asked that. That'll be, it depends on the program, Isabel. I believe right now the only area we're handling with that, and we even need an executive or personal representative of the will, is Florida. I don't think there's anywhere else that we're working with deceased claimants. Yes, there will be a replay later, Jackie. It'll be on our YouTube channel, which is the same name as our website, Surplus Funds Riches. If I join your partnership, am I able to work Texas and multiple states? Yeah, Musa. So with National and Premier 16, the only states that we don't take stuff from, if you want to partner, they teach you how to do it on your own. But if the only states we don't work for you guys to send in, refer files to us, are Washington State, Oregon, and Colorado, and North Carolina right now. The only one we work North Carolina for is the panning, because they don't generate lists in North Carolina. And Florida is a separate program for us. So you can work 45 states, and yes, Texas is one of them. Tahir, I've come across several warranty deeds that have a vendor's lien. Is that similar to a deed of trust? No. Well, I mean, it's debt. So yes, it's similar in the fact that it's debt, Tahir. So that does count against it. It should give you a dollar amount on there. So that will count against the overage. Isabel, does it take more than a month to find a file? Find a file? I don't understand the question. You should be able to get lists, right away. The research doesn't take long once you've done your first 3 to 5 of them, because it's a new skill set. But after that, it doesn't take you long to research a file. Yeah, Jeff says it is not the same as a deed of trust. Okay, yeah. See, Jeff's looking at this from the support and underwriting status to here. So no, it's not the same thing, but it is debt. Crystal, hi, I'm interested in buying the Surplus 16. Can you briefly explain what it entails for me to do? Oh, what your part of it is, Crystal. No problem. So with the Premier 16, you have to go get your own list. We teach you how to do that. That's fairly easy online. You take that list, research the debt. Okay, make sure there wasn't additional debt that was against the property at the time of the sale. We teach you how to do all this, guys. After that, of course, you're going to double check our list because you have access to our active files list. So that way you won't duplicate someone else's efforts to turn in a file we already have. But research the debt. And then after you've done that, call them. Make sure that they're willing to speak with us. Now, we have a 2-part submission system with the Premier 16. Once you research debt and you know you're going to go after them, you turn it in. It's like a soft turn in, because that's going to get it on the list. So somebody working the 8%, the national surplus program, where you don't have to call people, someone working that program sees it on the list and they're not going to try to turn it in. Once you get a hold of them, you turn it in again, and we call them immediately. What most people do, guys, if you're just now starting out, is they like having both the national and the Premier 16. They are separate programs. With the Premier 16, we'll give you 16% of gross, but your job is to get a list, research the debt, call them, and contact them, make sure they want to speak with us, and you got the right guy. National surplus, you don't have to call them or find them. So what most people are doing is buying the bundles, because that way you can try to work it as a 16, but before you turn it in, because don't turn it in and then try to switch it. We're not going to do that. But before you turn it in, you can try to see if you can reach them. If you can't reach them, well, shoot. Turn it in as a national surplus. Yes, it's 8% of the gross instead of 16, but you weren't going to get anywhere with that anyway. So that's how people are gaming the system on me. Sean, what happens a file after it's accepted? How can I follow up with the submitted files? Also, as a researcher, should I be doing skip tracing? So Don, it depends on the program you're on. Read the book. If you're in the national surplus, you don't have to find people, okay? If you're with the Premier 16, I was assuming you already bought, Don, sorry. If you're with the Premier 16, yes, you have to research and talk to the people, find them, skip trace them and find them and have a conversation. Make sure you got the right guy and they're willing to speak with us. Well, of course, all the scripts and everything are included, and both programs teach you how to do it on your own. But as far as after it's accepted, one of three things is going to happen, Don. When you file, well, first of all, when it's submitted, one of three things is going to happen. Either it's going to accept it, which means it shows up on the active files list, and we immediately begin mailing and calling, trying to get a hold of them. Okay. If the other option would be you messed up on filling out the paperwork, and Jeff or paperwork, one or the other, will catch that and get up with you, tell you what you need to fix in order to submit it correctly. The third thing that can happen is it makes it through underwriting and it makes it through the initial check by paperwork. It gets to the point where they're going to skip trace it and they find out the people are dead and they give you a heads up on that the people are deceased. As far as how can you follow up, there's actually a built-in system, Don. First of all, we contact you whenever we put one under contract. Okay, not only right after we put it under contract, but also kind of a heads up when we're coming close to paying you out. As far as following up on them, once a month you can do once you've turned in 20. Once you turn in 20 files, because we don't want people turning 2 files and then just sit back and go, okay, tell me what's going on every month, right? That's silly. Once you've turned in 20 that have been accepted, which means they showed up on the list, once you've done that, you can you can actually fill out the system we've got on the support. And that system is done monthly. You can ask for an update, and by the end of the following month, generally, you'll get a reply to that. All right, Jerry's, I got the panning program in January. Honestly, I'm struggling. Okay, I've read the ebook several times and videos. Just so you know, Jerry's, we had over 1,500 files turning on that. So I start with auction.com, foreclosure download. Then I try to research the property. I got lost in the site afterwards. I love your straightforward. Hey, really pay attention, Jerry's, to the videos. I walked you through 3 different ways to find those deals for the panning, not just with auction.com. So take another read through, take a breath. Guys, you're not going to, there's no gold stars for doing this faster than somebody else. And everything's designed to be worked at your speed. So take it easy, relax. If after reading it, you have questions, you're welcome to use support. However, if it's something that's answered in the ebook or there are frequently asked questions on the support tab or on the resources page, Jeff is going to kind of direct you back to that. Samra, I saw a trustee deed in North Carolina, so you must be working panning. But when I look at auction.com, the spreadsheet shows removed and there's no opening bid. It's a way to find out the opening bid. I would say if it's removed, then it was probably voluntarily dismissed. In other words, foreclosure was stopped. Move on to the next one. Goodness knows there's plenty of them, Samra. Michelle, no question. Thank you for keeping the list of active files. I am having a blast. Thank you, Michelle. And welcome on board. Musa, how do you join and get set up for the national partnership? And can you discuss the training? So what you get, Musa, is an initial PDF. That's your ebook. And that is a step-by-step in written form that has a link with a password to a resources page. There's video training on there. You have access to support, which is email-based, and Jeff typically gets back in 1 business day. We have these live webinars twice a month. In addition, you have access to our active files list. So after you go get your own list, you take that. Before you even research anything, you check our active files list, make sure we don't have it. Not an issue with saturation at all, but it's nice that way you're not going to duplicate someone else's efforts. Research the debt. Make sure there wasn't anything outstanding that would have a claim to the surplus in front of the owner. Fill out a worksheet with that information. Turn it into us. National is only available in bundles, the 8%, the one that does not require you call people. So that's going to be one of the bundles, best of the best, gold bundle, diamond, or there's another one that Jeff's offering right now. Draw to blank. All those bundles have national in them. So you cannot get national by itself. You can only get Premier 16 by itself right now for this sale. And obviously, you're going to need to get a bundle to get national for that. How successful are you guys in the deed flip program, but the economy and housing market is still lucrative and worth pursuing, Mo? I'm so glad. And by the way, Don, you said, thanks, Sean. You're very welcome. And you said, by the way, Musa, sorry, I got to back up again. I'm sorry. How do you join and get set up for the national part? You buy it. Surplusfundsriches.net. Okay, click on products. Tomorrow, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern through probably halfway through Saturday, maybe till the end of maybe 10 p.m. Saturday, you can get it. You pick it up, you buy it right online on that site. the current page that says products. It tells you all about the site. 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, it will flip and become the buy page. Mo, sorry for jumping around, guys. Mo, how successful are you guys in the D-flip program with the economy and housing market? Is it still lucrative? Actually, Mo, what I've been saying for about 9 months is now is when it's turned, because now sellers are starting to get back into reality. They're realizing they're not going to get retail for a piece of junk house. So we're having great fun with that. It's really picking up dramatically. Another thing I did, and guys, you really need to check out my YouTube channel. It's the same word as, or rather, same name as our website, Surplus Funds Riches, all one word. So instead of surplusfundsriches.net, you go to YouTube and just plug in Surplus Funds Riches, all one word. And that's our site. Definitely want to follow us there, subscribe to us, because I've been talking about this. Taxes just got recently reevaluated across the nation. Most states have already hit it. Some of them the next year they will. When that happens, taxes on property goes up because the value of the property goes up. Taxes are based on the value of the property, right? So the people that are holding on by fingernails right now are gonna unfortunately be in a world of hurt, starting very shortly. So that's the deed flipping program picked up dramatically. You're also going to see with mortgage foreclosures, not just with tax, because guys, a lot of people think, unless you've had a mortgage before, you think that payment doesn't go up. If the taxes go up, the bank is escrowing or keeping the money aside every month for those taxes at the end of the year. So your payment goes up. So that's also going to affect mortgage foreclosures. And that's coming in a big way. Not 2008, not that all over again, but it's going to hit a lot of people really hard in the next year or two. It's already started. We're already seeing it. My property went up over 65% from 4 years ago. And it's going to cost me a lot of money. My payment's going to go up $200, $250 a month. If you have a file with more than 50 sheets, what do we do? Isabel, you shouldn't. That's the simple answer. You can contact support on that, but I'm telling you right now, you really shouldn't ever have more than 50 pages when you're submitting a file to us. A lot of people get caught up in, I'm also going to turn in this. For instance, certain mortgages on there, you ask for just the first couple of pages. It's really read that carefully and you'll see you really shouldn't be over 50 pages. We're trying to limit that. It's not a bandwidth issue. It's just when we go to print it out, we make physical files in addition to having, because I'm old, right? So we make physical files in addition to having the electronic version of it, just so that we have it, because I'm one of those guys that what happens if, right? So 50 pages, it really shouldn't be over that. Mo, and what is the average payout on the deed flip 30 program? So national deed flip, Mo, you're just looking at property that's coming up for sale. Excuse me, at a tax auction. You're checking debt because we have to buy the property. It's not going to get kicked out by the foreclosure. We have to buy it. So you're checking debt to make sure there's not $100,000 in debt against a $60,000 house. You're checking value by looking at online values, turning it into us. And with the national deed flip, we call and put the deal together, buy it, flip it as is, whereas to investors typically double our money and give you 15% of the net. With the average net these days is around 50 grand, so that's $7,500. The deed flip 30 requires you, this is just like the surplus deal. Deed flip 30, you get double, you get 30% of our net, but with that one, you also have to call the people. So that's the difference between those two programs. The great thing with deed flips, and the reason deed flip 30 is hot with a lot of people right now, is it's a lot easier to find the people because they haven't been foreclosed on yet. They're still in the house. I received the status report. Would like to know if 2 months from now, if a report will automatically be sent, or will I have to make another request? Manual, that's right on that page. You got to request each time you want to request. It's every month that you got to request. You got to have at least 20 turned in. And I think there's something where you had to have been active within a certain amount of months, just to make sure that somebody doesn't turn something in and just disappear, turn in 20 files and disappear, keep asking for updates, But we will, of course, let you know the second we get one under contract and when we're close to the payout. LOL, I feel like I do. Me too. Isabel, no file should ever be 50 pages. If you are at 50, I can guarantee you're adding unnecessary documents. That's what Jeff says. It's true. And we get that a lot. And guys, look, I get it. You're trying to show us that you're working hard and we see that. Okay. And you're trying to show us that, hey, I just thought I'd throw this in as extra, just in case you needed it. The title worksheet or the worksheet for each program has a breakdown of what we need and nothing more, guys. But we have to have everything on the list. If it's required, we got to have it. If it's not on that list, don't need it, don't want it. Looks like we've slowed down a little bit on questions. I'm glad you guys are using chat as directed. Also, again, you should see someplace. You may have to close your chat for a second to see it, but you should see where there's a file download. I highly recommend you download that. You can download it right now. If you guys are watching this in a replay, you can't because you'll be seeing it on YouTube. But during Webinar Jam, you can download these file downloads, and that has important information, what's being offered, overview of the programs, that type of thing. For those of you guys that are coming, just so you know, we do use PayPal as our transaction manager during the sales. Doesn't mean you got to use PayPal. They'll take any credit or debit card, okay? But you got to, if you already had a PayPal account at some point, it'll try to direct you to that, and you just click check out as a guest and you're golden, okay? Jennifer, no question, but I want to say I am obsessed with the program. Been at it for a month. Good for you, Jennifer. Welcome aboard. Musa, how do you get paid? Weekly, etc.? Musa, you mean how do you get paid as a researcher? When we get the money out of the court. This is not, you're not an employee, you're an independent contractor. That's why we can pay the percentages that we can pay. You're not I just don't understand the question. I get paid when the court pays me. I pay you guys immediately. And I can pay a couple different ways, okay? Maybe that's what you were asking me. How do you get paid? I can pay you a couple different ways. The first one, I prefer to send out a check overnight where it requires a signature. Only reason we had an issue before where somebody was trying to use his mother's account who had passed away. Nobody knew she passed. This is the kind of crazy stuff we see, guys. So the first one, we try to send a bank check out or a company check out and make you sign for it so we know that at least we know where the address is where we're sending the money. After that, we can overnight it. We can also, let me make sure this is, oh yeah, good. I agree with you, Jeff. We can either overnight it, okay, or we can wire it to you. But if we do that, we're going to take the cost of that out of the check because we'd normally send it regular mail, except for the first one, we require you guys to sign for it. Is a copy of a tax bill the same as a copy of a tax assessor's page? So Isabel, just so you know, there's an actual example of what we're looking for in the ebook on that. And just look at that. And that's what we're looking for. I'm not going to answer for Jeff on that one. Guys, it seems like we're slowing down here. I'm going to ask Jeff to stop further questions. There's usually a couple minute delay between when I say that and when Jeff sees it and when you guys hear it. So, because it seems like it's slowing down a little bit. Musa says you answered that. Thanks. Oh, you're very welcome, Musa. I want to answer your question. Is a tax bill the same as a copy of a tax assessor's page? I mean, the tax assessor's page is what we're doing, guys, when we ask for things with the worksheets is we're just showing you got to prove your work because we've had so many people try to turn stuff in and go, yeah, there weren't any mortgages. Yeah, there's this and that. Didn't check anything. So that's why we got to at least make you go to where you normally go to check this stuff and see a copy of it, because at that point it's not worth people trying to BS us, right? So that's why we do that. We've got to keep a tight ship. Remember too that it's us on the line too here. You know, we call somebody and we've got incorrect information, we're going to get complaints. I mean, our buyout company, our educational company is one company, our buyout company is a second one. The buyout company has an A+ rating with BBB. I'm not going to screw that up. It took us a long time to get that. We've been with BBB a very long time with zero complaints and thousands of inquiries on our buyout company. That's the same company that buys property that also does buyouts with our surplus funds, gives the people the upfront payment, and that once we get the contracts back, and then the rest when we successfully get the money out of the court. So we're very, very careful with that. And that's why we run such a tight ship, because we got to know we have good information from you guys, because if we don't, and we're calling people and they find out that we had incorrect information, it's not like they're going to go, oh, this must have been Joey, one of their researchers. They're not going to do that. They're going to go, oh, that must have been Greater Good Company, the buyout company. It must have been Greater Good Company really not doing a good job. And they're going to file a complaint. And we're very tight, guys. The second we get one under contract, it immediately goes to attorneys before the notary even jumps on it. No kidding. Goes to the attorneys, goes through Jeff to underwrite on the back work. Again, second underwriting, goes through our attorney liaison, who has an attorney also take a look and call the court, make sure it's still there, no claims have been filed. I mean, we have this down to a crazy science right now. And that's why we give, after we get the contract back, we have 10 business days to give them our upfront payment. A lot of you guys don't know this. We give the claimants 10% of the gross upfront as good faith money, the claimant, the one that's due the money. And then the rest of whatever we agree to when we successfully get the money out of the court. Well, that could be a lot of money. We're working quite a few deals right now over $100,000. So that can be a lot of money. So of course, during that 10-day period, what's happening, the reason we give ourselves 10 business days is we're double checking debt. We're having title work done by the attorneys immediately to make sure that you guys turned in the correct information to us. We're double checking everything before I send out that first check. I mean, I've got a check due Tuesday sending out. It'll be at the 10-day mark, 10 business days, and it'll be $13,000. So I don't want to risk that. I just want to be very, very careful. We're very good at leading you guys through the process. If you have a question, most of the stuff is in the ebook. And one of the things I'll tell you that's extremely important for those of you guys that have one of our programs already, the frequently asked questions page on the support tab is fantastic. It's going to answer 99% of your questions. We didn't do that to blow you off. We did that because why shouldn't we give you the answer and you not even have to wait for any kind of support, even though Jeff gets back quick, right? Why not have the answer right in front of you? So that's important. Also, again, anybody that buys the books or already has, it doesn't hurt to take another read. I tell people 2 reads is probably a good idea for the text portion, the ebook, and then click the link and use the password, go to the resources page, watch the video training on then at that point as well. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I think Jeff shut it down on the question side. And guys, remember, tomorrow's a sale starting at 10 a.m. Eastern. The office is shut down tomorrow. I always give my crew a Good Friday off. They got a lot of days off. I pay them extremely well. They have full medical insurance with nothing out of pocket. I mean, I take care of my crew. But we will not be in the office tomorrow. Support will probably be turned off as well for that. If you have questions, however, tomorrow, pre-purchase questions, pre-purchase only. If you're thinking about buying one of our programs, 704, my cell phone, and you'll see this on the replay. This is also on our website, surplusfundsriches.net, 704-791-9398. Happy to answer your questions. I'm available 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time for those types of questions. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.